Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you had a good meal. You've charged your glasses. My name is Dave Landis, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to Masterpiece Lincoln, our 37th Annual Mayor's Arts Award. We would like to thank one of our co-sponsors, Premier Catering, for the delicious meal that we've had this evening. Would you? Tonight we celebrate the artistic accomplishments of some of Lincoln's arts champions and recognize those that help the arts to thrive, showing us that connecting people through the arts changes lives. Of course, we want to welcome Mayor Beitler and his wife Judy. It's our pleasure to have you here this evening, Mayor. The arts community is thrilled to have you at the helm of Lincoln again, and thank you for your tireless efforts in helping Lincoln grow and keeping the arts vibrant. The Lincoln Arts, fair enough. The Lincoln Arts Council is proud to work side by side in helping to make art accessible to all. Deb?
Thank you. Hi, I'm Deb Weber. I'm the Executive Director of the Lincoln Arts Council. Thank you. We are so excited to be here tonight with you to celebrate the impact of the arts in our community. And we've been through many of these awards ceremonies, and I have to say that each year it feels like we get better and better at assembling the people in our community that are really the warriors for the arts in Lincoln. And it's a great group. Thank you for being here. On each of your tables are a couple of the top 10 reasons to support the arts. The arts drive tourism, improve health care, lower crime and poverty rates, improve academics, and strengthen the local economy, to name several of the reasons. There are few sectors who are as well positioned as the arts to address all three focus areas identified by the Prosper Lincoln Initiative: youth success, economic growth, and quality of life. The economic impact of the arts is readily apparent in the bustle of the gallery openings and performances of all types available on a Friday night in Lincoln. And I have to just say, we are so lucky that we have Mayor Beitler, who has led us through this, and the City Council. We're just very, very fortunate that we have leaders who understand how important this is to have a vibrant arts community. In response to the current needs, the Lincoln Arts Council is making social impact a priority, and this is reflected in our new mission statement that I want to share with you tonight. It is championing the arts, connecting people, changing lives. One of my favorite projects that is a stellar example of how the arts create success for youth is the Penguin Project. A recipient... And here they come. They are a recipient of a 2014 LAC project grant, and also they are also the outstanding event of 2014, and they're going to perform. I just have to say, listen for the joy in their voices and see the smiles on their faces, and I think you will understand just how powerful the experience has been for the Penguins and their families. So thank you, Penguins, for being here. You're the best, so thank you.
they roll. The fish on the net ain't happy. They sag as they in the bowl. The fish in the bowl is happy. They in full of selfie. One day when the basket's lonely, guess you're gonna be on the braids. Uh-oh, under the sea. Under the sea. Nobody beats us, fry us and eats us in fricassee. We want the nan folks not to curb. Under the sea, we got the herb. We got no shovels, slimy stuff bubbles under the sea. And they sound and jump, as afraid the raining and rain, the nukes on the shoes and shoes. Shins or snare here, know how to wear here. That's why it's hotter under the water. Now we are not here down in the mud here under the sea.
Okay, now we gotta get ready for Don't Stop. Let's go this way.
Oh, they have another song. Oh, great.
Just a small town girl living in a lonely world. She took the midnight train going anywhere.
Just a city boy, born and raised in South Detroit. He took the midnight train going anywhere.
A singer in a smoky room.
A smell of wine and cheap perfume. For a smile they can share the night. It goes on and on and on and on. Strangers waiting up and down the boulevard. Their shadows searching in the night. Street light,
The Penguins, ladies and gentlemen, the Penguins. Thank you, Maury Enders. How is that for a shot of energy on a Wednesday night? Great, kids. Thank you. Wonderful to have you here. We have some folks who are champions of the arts and they're dignitaries in this community. Let me announce a number of them, if they'd stand, and then we'll wait till they're done and we'll recognize them. They include our former mayor, Don Wesley. They include State Senator Patty Pansing Brooks. They also include the members of our City Council, John Camp, Jane Raybold, Cindy Lamb, and Carl Eskridge, pardon me. Carl is also the past Lincoln Arts Council Board President. Carl, thank you. And Lincoln Board of Education members Barbara Baer and Don Mayhew. If they're standing, would you recognize our dignitaries tonight? Jeff Chadwick, the Lincoln Arts Council Board President, and new Vice President Christine Wilcox are prepared to present our raffle winners. Jeff.
All right. First of all, I'd like to recognize the Lincoln Arts Council Board of Directors. If they could all please stand. They're around. Also like to give a special thanks to Diane Gonzalez, who is the Mayor's Arts Awards Committee Chair. And Christy Wilcox here is our raffle chair. And the wonderful people and businesses that donated tonight, I'd like to give a round of applause to those as well. And last but not least, Janet Eskridge. I just saw her somewhere for the wonderful art that's going to be awarded tonight to all the winners. All right.
I was told I have to do my best Vanna White impression here.
Hold it a little.
Okay, the first drawing, and just so you know, we have 3 packages, all of which are outstanding. The first is this fair? Diane Gonzalez. Will you please come to the stage to receive your prize? We gotta get those switched around.
Yeah, here, there's no cheating here.
Okay, our second recipient is ticket number 808147. Anyone with that ticket number? There we go, another board member. Oops.
Oh, this is rigged. Uh-oh.
Okay,
This is
I swear I sold a lot of tickets, I gotta get them out. Okay, and the final number is 808507. There we go, thank you. Please come up, we will give you your prizes. Or if you want to get them at the end of the night, that would probably work the best. But congratulations, and thank you for all of those who purchased tickets. 100% of what you donated goes to the Lincoln Arts Council due to our generous, generous sponsors. Thanks.
Next up is Lori McAllister. Lori, come on up. By the way, as she comes up, it seems to me we seem to have a feel of the melodramas here. I said it was the raffle, and people went, ooh. And then they drew a couple of the board members and was like, oh, yeah. Lori?
Thank you. Yes, hooray for the board members that bought all the tickets. Hoorah. My name is Lori McAllister. I'm the Development Director for the Lincoln Arts Council. Of course, support comes in a number of ways: time, talent, creative energy, participation, as well as financial. So thank you, each of you, for everything that you do. We want to give special thanks, of course, to Premier Catering, not only for a beautiful meal, but for being a co-sponsor of tonight's event. Also want to give a shout out to our team sponsor, the Clark Architects for the Arts. Where are ya? Come on, guys. There we go, guys and gals. This team sponsored a table plus made a $1,000 donation that has been designated for an Art Makes Me Smart activity hosted by the beautiful new Newman Center and St. Thomas Aquinas Church. Art makes me smart. When you see it in print, it has a period after it, because we believe that strongly in that statement. We call all of our arts education outreach Art Makes Me Smart. This spring, we sent 2 teaching artists to Prescott Elementary to work with kindergarten, 1st, 2nd, and 5th grade students. Jackie Allen brought jazz and blues, songwriting and vocalizing to the 5th graders. Kate Marks worked with the younger students in paint, print, and pastels. 44.5% of Prescott students live in poverty. 30% come from ethnically diverse cultures. Prescott is one of our Title I schools, meaning that 40% of the student body are enrolled in free or reduced price lunch programs. 25 out of a total of 49 elementary and middle schools receive Title I funding. We reached 355 students in their classrooms with Art Makes Me Smart this spring. In addition, we provided take-home art supplies. Many individuals, groups, and businesses came together to stuff these lovely Art Makes Me Smart bags for the kids to take home. We are looking for community partners who are interested to invest in Art Makes Me Smart programming that will allow us to place even more teaching artists in the schools and the neighborhoods that need us most. And we don't want to provide this programming on a hit-and-run basis. We want to make a commitment to those individual schools and community centers that we'll be there this year and next year and the year after. We want to make a 4-year commitment to enhance the existing programs that are available and provide for students what some of them would not otherwise have a chance to experience. On your table, you'll find a variety of cards with photos and stories on one side and the nuts and bolts of what it takes to make those testimonies possible on the other side. Having seen tonight some of the fruits of this good work, I would hope that you would take a few minutes to consider how you might partner with us to make more of these experiences possible. I invite you to put your intention on the card and leave it with the volunteers that you'll find at either exit who will be holding their Art Makes Me Smart boxes. Our elementary schools in particular reflect the neighborhoods in which they are located and the neighborhoods that they serve, which is wonderful. But it does put some of them at a disadvantage. Won't you join with us so that each of those 25 schools can adopt an artist for 4 years, and together we'll see what kind of life-changing impact we can have.
Thank you, Lori. Now let's celebrate Masterpiece Lincoln, the champions among us, connecting people and changing lives, and it is my very great pleasure to call to the stage our mayor and a great friend of the arts, Mayor Chris Beitler. Chris?
Judy and I are delighted to be here tonight, and we thank you all very much for being here tonight. Weren't the penguins something? Oh. I tell you, when you think about the statement that art can transform lives, isn't it very apparent from what you've seen tonight that that's a very true statement in many, many ways? And the Penguin Project, by the way, Maury wants me to remind you that it's being expanded and there are still tickets available for The Little Mermaid Junior. So snap them up, guys, all right? The Lincoln Arts Council shared with me one of the nomination letters from the Penguin Project. It came from the mother of a boy named Zachary, and she wrote, "Because of the patience and understanding of the peer mentor, because of that relationship, Zachary went from being an out-of-control 12-year-old to an artist," she said. She continued, "With the Penguin Project, my son has found a new voice, a voice that lets him shine, that lets him be in the spotlight despite his autism." I think everybody in the room tonight understands the power and the necessity of the arts in our community, and all of us can recall when a dancer or an actor, a painter, or maybe an art teacher touched our lives. Tonight, we shine a spotlight on those who make the arts happen in Lincoln, from those who put the paint on the canvas and the performance on the stage, to those behind the scenes who provide the support that makes the magic happen. We recognize and support the next generation of artists. We salute the team that has transformed the West Haymarket and brought some of the biggest artists in the world to the city. And we hope to inspire you all to do what you can to grow this vibrant and diverse arts community. It's been an amazing year for the arts in Lincoln. If you think about it, some of the top artists in the world have performed on this stage as the Leeds Center celebrated its silver anniversary this year. We've unveiled a new Albert Paley sculpture and dedicated Tower Square with June Kaneko's beautiful Ascent. And let's not forget, we hosted a Beatle, too. Yeah. And that's, of course, just the tip of the iceberg. Every day, the arts are making a difference in the community, in the quality of our life, in our economy, and helping to create a very unique sense of place in this city. And there's more to come soon. It's also been a big year for the Lincoln Arts Council. Earlier, you heard about some of the projects and initiatives. I hope that all of you will continue to support the Arts Council. It plays a big role. When we keep the arts strong, we keep our city strong. So, Judy and I are feeling, as we usually feel, that it's quite an honor to be here, and we're feeling it for the 9th consecutive year. We love it. The fun continues, and I simply want to thank the Leeds Center, Premier Catering, and the Arts Council for making this such a special event year after year after year. And thank you all again for coming in support of the arts. Have a good evening.
Thank you very much, Mayor Beidler. Thank you for sharing that letter with all of us. A nice insight into that world. And Maury Enders, I got to say, getting the mayor to hawk your tickets for you, smart move, pal. Good work. This is a moment in which we look back to this last year in which we lost people from this arts community. We're not a large group, so many of these people you will know, and if we could, let's remember some of the great people and friends in the arts community that we've lost this last year.
Gene Acosta was the chief artist for the state of Nebraska. His work is reflected in many state documents, and one of his murals is on permanent display at the Department of Roads headquarters. Mark Adams was the former artistic director at the Lincoln Community Playhouse. He had been teaching theater at the College of the Mainland in Texas City, Texas for 20 years and acting in community theater productions there. Musician Eric Bell was a founding member of the Coachmen, a popular rock band formed in the 60s that toured the country and hosted an Omaha TV show. Blues guitarist Sean Benjamin was a fixture on the music scene since the late 70s and performed with many blues legends. He was inducted into the Nebraska Music Hall of Fame in 2000. Joan Bruning, who once worked at the U.S. Embassy in Rome, had an avid interest in the arts and was a Sheldon docent. Don Bryant was best known as UNL's longtime sports information director and associate athletic director, but he also played the cornet and trumpet and served for many years on the Lincoln Municipal Band Board. He was often a greeter at the band's summer concerts. Historian Tom Beeker was curator of the Kennard House. He wrote 3 books, including 2 about Fort Robinson and many articles for Nebraska History magazine. Patrick Clinch, a fixture at the mill in the Haymarket, had a passion for music. He played bass and sang with longtime band Strawberry Burns. Art Curtis was a World War II veteran and an attorney. He played trumpet in the Lincoln Municipal Band for more than 60 years. Patricia Dickinson, who passed away at age 93, was an actor, crew member, and director at the Lincoln Community Playhouse. Betty Jean Duncan, who helped build Duncan Motors and Duncan Aviation, was an arts patron and gifted quilter. Diga Eckersley was a book designer at Nebraska Press and a designer for the quarterly journal Prairie Schooner. She created 2 bike sculptures for the Arts Council's 2003 Tour de Lincoln project and was involved in Flatwater Shakespeare, Friends of the Robert Hillestad Gallery, and the Hayden Art Gallery. Gilbert Ely died in Mesa, Arizona. The one-time Realtor of the Year, worked for Woods Brothers for over 36 years and was a longtime supporter of the Lincoln Community Playhouse. Eleanor Gans, who passed away in June at the age of 94, earned a degree in art education from UNL. Her career included more than 20 years of teaching junior high art in the Lincoln Public Schools. She also enjoyed attending symphony concerts and operas. Norman Geske, the first and longtime director of the Sheldon Museum of Art, passed away in September at age 98. He worked to create the I-80 Sculpture Project, the Museum of Nebraska Art in Kearney, and the Sheldon Film Theater, now the Mary Rietma Ross Media Arts Center. He was a recipient of a Mayor's Arts Award in 1987, as well as a Governor's Arts Award. Marilyn Gorham was the former director of the Lincoln Children's Museum, who successfully raised the funds to create the current museum facility. After retiring from that position, she served as development director for Lincoln Symphony Orchestra and Arts Incorporated. Naomi Hall was a longtime Sheldon docent and enjoyed classical music. A chaplain and ordained deacon, she published a book of prayers. Walker Kennedy was a board member of the Nebraska Repertory Theater and the Meadowlark Music Festival. He and his wife Diane received the Mayor's Arts Award in 2007 for their support of the arts. East High senior Tony Kirkpatrick was passionate about the marimba. He was in the school's marching band, Blue Note Jazz Band, Wind Ensemble, and pep band, and formed an after-school percussion group. Jean Martin taught art education at the University of Nebraska and was a life member of the Nebraska Arts Association. She taught children's art classes for many years and created an arts program for seniors at the Legacy Retirement Centers. She received a Mayor's Arts Award in 2013. Russ Raybould was the founder and CEO of B&R Stores, the grocery chain that has benefited many local nonprofits. His stores won a Mayor's Arts Award in 2013 for their annual Wine and Food Experience, which has raised hundreds of thousands of dollars for the Lincoln Community Playhouse. Jack Snyder led the Cornhusker Marching Band for 18 years and taught horn and brass instruments at UNL for 36 years. He also started the Nebraska State Bandmasters Association and the Lincoln Community Concert Band. In his retirement, he ushered at Kimball Recital Hall, taught French horn lessons, and attended the marching band's game day rehearsals into his 90s. He and his late wife, Mary Alice, received the Mayor's Arts Award in 1985. Physician and environmentalist Paul Stows, who passed away in Santa Fe, New Mexico, was a board member of the Lincoln Community Playhouse and served as board president.
We will miss them all. And in their honor, absolutely. I'm sure their voice would be celebrate what we have, celebrate today, celebrate the artists that are being recognized tonight, and let's do that now. In their honor, let us continue to rejoice the arts together. Ted, show us a video.
Good evening. I'm Callister Book, and welcome to the first episode of Champions, a Masterpiece Lincoln original about 15 very different yet exceedingly passionate honorees who champion the arts, connect people, and change lives in our year 2015. In this episode, you will be introduced to our characters and learn a bit about how their artistic passions enhance our community. We open on Wendy Jane Bantam, the recipient of the Artistic Achievement Award Visual. But first, a word from our sponsors.
Masterpiece Lincoln is made possible by the Lincoln Arts Council and Premier Catering, casual, formal, and every occasion in between.
When I was very little, very, very little, and I lived in the Sandhills on a farm, I decided I would be an artist, and their only question was what medium that would be. And so I didn't know what an artist did, except that it seemed like that would be the best way to communicate with people, because I didn't seem to have the skills it took to communicate with people in the language that they seem to understand. I think because my parents are both teachers, I saw how they helped me through their actions rather than just telling me. They showed me, they gave me tools so that I could communicate. So then it seemed natural that I would eventually reach that time in my work as an artist that I would want to do the same for someone else. To get out of the studio and to get out of the isolation of the studio, I started this thing called the Outlook Project. And so the Outlook Project is where, if any of my work is collected, then a portion of that goes to a scholarship to another artist who's like learning and changing. But also to help other artists find exhibition and venue is super, I'm going to sound like a surfer right now. It's just super awesome, dude.
Achievement Award winner in the visual category, Wendy Jane Bantam.
LNBC champions the arts through the opportunities that it provides to this community. It provides opportunities to our dancers. It provides opportunity to our public to see top quality ballet that is student-centered but with professionals as well. And many of our ballet, when we do the Nutcracker, it's with the live orchestra, and so in many ways it gives the Lincoln community the opportunity to see the arts.
I think LNBC connects lives because it's really nice to see. I remember when I was little and I was a snow angel, I would always look up to the older girls and I'd always think, oh, they're so amazing, they're so cool. And so then when I became an older dancer and when I got to dance as Clara, I also got to dance with the younger girls. And I got to see really how they look up to me and how I'm a role model for them. And I just remember being their age. So, yeah.
I also think that it's so amazing when everyone comes back from generations past, and they come and they see this show, the Nutcracker or Cinderella or whatever we're producing. And I love that that audience is connected with past generations that have been on the stage of the Lead Center through Lincoln Midwest Ballet. Love that.
I think it changes lives in a lot of ways. Obviously, you see it through your dancers and the change that they have in their confidence, their ability to reach out to younger students and to be able to kind of nurture that dance community and the feeling of the arts. I also think we connect through the volunteers. We start as parents very frequently because that's what our children love, so we get involved with the organization that way, and we continue our involvement past the time when our students are dancers because we now believe in the mission of the Lincoln Midwest Ballet and the work that we do. Outreach and education is another part of it. So through Backstage at the Ballet, we're reaching children in the community who aren't dancers but might have their first arts experience through some of the outreach that we do as well. So
some of those dancers have come and eventually become a part of our show.
You're right.
Because we did an outreach program to a school that would have never, ever received the arts. And LMBC brings their costumers, their choreographers, their directors. We go into that school, and it really is impactful.
The Richard Hay Outstanding Arts Organization is the Lincoln Midwest Ballet Company. Please come forward and accept your award.
I think championing the arts means advocating for the arts and talking to people about them and trying to get other people involved, especially if they haven't really had a chance to have the arts in their lives before. And just reaching out to different groups for collaboration and trying to get everybody together with a common goal. I do a lot of work with Nebraska Girls Shakespeare Company, and I've been working with them since 8th grade. And I've seen the company grow and change so much, which has been so wonderful. But the best thing about it is watching all of the girls connect to one another and connect to the people that they want to become someday. That's been the most meaningful part for me, and I want to kind of champion the arts as much as I can when it comes to helping girls like me get involved. I've seen the arts change the lives of so many people around me, and I've also felt a huge change in myself, and I think that what the arts do for people is to give them power, to allow them to decide how they want their lives to be and give them the steps to get there and to become the people that they have dreamed of being. And I've seen that a lot with kids around me at school doing theater. I was in the Illusion Theater company for a while, and I saw that so much with the kids around me because we wanted to help people, and being able to help people through theater was hugely empowering for us and led us to do a lot of other similar projects because we wanted to kind of keep it up. Once we had seen what it could do, we wanted to do more.
Artistic Achievement Award for the winner for the youth category, Rachel Merlis. Rachel.
I would say that championing the arts for me is the fact, especially in performing arts, the fact that I feel like I can touch a larger span of people and I can bring something to them that they wouldn't get anywhere else. I can bring them heartwarming stories, or I can bring them funny and exciting. And I think it's great because performing arts can span the globe. So that's how I think of championing the arts. A thought about connecting people, for me, I'm very fortunate that I have a dance background. So with my dance background, getting into directing and musical theater, I have been able to bring in a different group of people to the musical theater realm. Because mostly you have your singers and your actors, and then they're forced to do choreography, and it kind of freaks them out. When I started directing back when I did Cats at Pinewood Bowl, I brought in dancers, and they kind of morphed in, and they started having to sing, and the singers started having to dance, and so I have a larger community to pull from now because I have all three aspects. So it's wonderful. Finding out that you changed someone's life is probably the biggest compliment you can get. It's better than a paycheck. It's better than accolades, applause, good reviews. Just knowing that you touched someone, there's nothing quite like it. You can't even put words to that.
Artistic Achievement winner in the Performing Arts category, Courtney Piccoli. Courtney.
So long as men can breathe, their eyes can see. So long lives this, and this gives life to thee. So long as men can breathe, their eyes can see. So long lives this, and this gives life to thee. If I am a champion of the arts, I think it's partly inviting people to feel that the arts are a natural extension of their lives. One of my favorite responses from my student evaluations this past year is, quote, "I never thought I'd enjoy Shakespeare," close quote. Now, that may refer to simply the academic subject, but I like to think that it's more, this is somebody that unfortunately felt separated from the wonders of his works and now doesn't feel that separation anymore. And this is somebody that will go to see a film adaptation or even better, a live production. One of the things that I'm really interested in is getting people who specialize in thinking about literature, writing about literature, getting them more involved in sharing their insights and expertise with theater practitioners, with music practitioners. So it's been a privilege and a delight to work with Flatwater Shakespeare, with all of these gifted performers who might not have approached the materials in exactly the same way, and doesn't mean that all of my suggestions or ideas are going to work on stage or this particular stage production, but letting them feel that they can be part of that, talking back to literary experts or specialists, because I'm always interested in seeing how scholars can learn from the arts. One of the places where I've seen what I do transform lives is presenting not an ideal model, but a model of how somebody can continue his or her interest in the arts and really not have to necessarily choose among any one artistic expression. So, for example, I have a former student who's very interested in actually doing dramaturgy as a career and linking that with a scholarly endeavor as well. Not that I necessarily want to just replicate myself, although that's not a bad thing. I think the more people engaged in this kind of conversation, the better. But to see this one friend's eyes light up when it occurred to her that I could do this and that I could have this impact on other students, other actors, other directors, other performers, and therefore an impact on the writers themselves, an impact on Shakespeare himself by bringing him to these people in new, exciting, collaborative ways, that's amazingly fulfilling.
Please welcome the old replicator himself, Artistic Achieve Award winner in the literary category, Steve Bueller.
Why and how do you champion the arts through your work? I'm an educator at heart, and in this job I get to work with teachers and their students directly, and I get to experience firsthand how the arts change lives. We have student matinee programs that are designed for little kiddos like Very Hungry Caterpillar, as well as more intense performances that deal with issues that are important to teachers. And 4,000 to 5,000 students attend these matinee programs every year from across the state. Out of Bounds was offered this season, and it's a new play by the University of Iowa that addresses growing concerns about teenage cyberbullying. And we offered 2 versions of this play in Lincoln. One was from a kid's perspective, and one was from a teacher's perspective, and it was very compelling and seeing both of these perspectives. How do you see your work in the arts connecting people? And I say every day of the year we're connecting teachers and our students with performing artists in some way, either on the stage or beyond the stage. And one of the programs that I work with, the Kennedy Center Partners in Education program, connects organizations on behalf of arts education. So partner organizations like the Lead Center would partner with a school district. And we've learned the importance of these kind of intentional partnerships to support arts education in Lincoln.
The Gladys Lux Education Award goes to Nancy Engen Modine. Nancy.
There was a time in my life, and I think it was the time that I was really dealing with my mental health condition, going through some really difficult times. So it was very important for me to sort of pick labels because I was very anti being labeled. I don't like the word mentally ill. I don't even like the word mental health condition, just a part of who I am. I think about it as that angel that I have to wrestle with every day to get a blessing out of that angel. So, you know, I became very into labels, and being an artist was like this really important label. I am an artist, I am a mother, I am this, I am that. So now you ask me that question, that was like 8 years ago, and like I'm totally not into labels anymore. So I don't know what it means to be an artist. I know that I am someone who gets up in the morning, and depending on what day it is, there might be a different soundtrack for that day. If I don't sing for a certain amount of time, then I become very unhappy. There's something, a lot of turmoil inside of me. I can't say that I get up and practice art. You know, I've been writing, you know, I've got some poems in the work. I've got some other stuff in the work. I've published a few things, but I don't feel like I'm a writer, you know. Creativity is not a product. It's a way of being. And I realize that's what I am. So I don't know what that means. I know that I crochet sometimes. I know that some days I sing, some days I write, some days somebody will talk me into doing like a little training film, or I remember days when I was doing little plays. But I don't, other than keeping myself alive and well enough to be a conduit, that's, I think, all I've done. I don't really feel like, you know, done anything. I haven't, like, you know, dusted things off or been in committees and things like that. It's something that I do in my daily life. I mean, for example, I just mentioned about the concerts that I give every year at the Lincoln Regional Center. And again, that's one of the state's 3 psychiatric hospitals. I work there as what's called a recovery specialist. It basically means that I'm just someone who, in my own past, had my days of being hospitalized and feeling hopeless. And there was always someone there who reminded me that I was a person. And that's basically what I get paid to do, to go in and remind people, you are a person. This is a rough stop right now, but it's only a part of your journey. So I'll have ladies, I work in the women's building, they'll go, Annette, would you sing me a song? And I'll sing a song before I go. I give concerts. I run a crochet group, just because it's fun.
Ladies and gentlemen, a force of nature and the legacy of the Arts Award winner, Annette Murrell. Annette.
Championing the arts. I probably do it all the time, with my friends. They get sick of hearing about art. So, I'm always talking about it. It's my passion, my love. And it's something I've done all my life. And I've just incorporated different things as I've gone along in life. And I helped start the Art Express program, where we take art to the senior residents in Lincoln, and when they can't get to Sheldon anymore, we take Sheldon to them. When I think of how art connects, I kind of think of two separate ways. For me, art connects my spiritual side to being able to express my soul and connect with my spiritual side. So that's one way. But I think the most important is connecting with all the people that I've worked with through the years in the different art associations that I've been in, and I think I've been in about 5 of them. I bet it's been hundreds of people that I've worked with. And so that has been very fulfilling for me. And I think that Lincoln is very fortunate to have such a vital art volunteer group. We are so lucky to be living at a time when we don't have to worry about food and shelter. We can enjoy the beauties around us and the joy of inventing and seeing things in an artistic way. For instance, I just think of probably a good example is many people, when they go for a walk, are trying to think of how fast they can walk. And they don't really look around them. And I enjoy going as slow as I can and seeing the cracks in the sidewalk or a new crocus that has just come up or whatever. And I think that this is part of the art that is within me. I'm always looking for pictures of things, for art wherever I go.
The Heart of the Arts Award goes to Carol Rustad. Carol.
Well, no, you're talking about, this is about me. I don't agree. This is about life. To me, this is the whole point of it. I will never be a millionaire. I have no desire to be a financial successful giant. But changing lives, I'm sitting here just right now and I'm thinking about several young people that I have had work for me in the past that I know for a fact I have changed their lives. There has definitely been a positive influence on these people. connecting people, championing the arts. Why? I would think that should be the logo for the world, instead of championing the guns and things like this. If we want world peace, we're going to have to go to this. You're never going to get it any other way.
The Art Scene Backstage Awards winner, Richard Emig.
The Penguin Project is a show that uses children with special needs in all of the roles, and they're partnered by peer mentors. It's a 6-month process to do the play, and part of the reason it takes so long is that it's not just about the play. It's not just about the product. It's about the process. It's about connecting the kids together. Kids with special needs often have a lot of issues and challenges, social barriers, and these break down the walls. The Penguin Project breaks down the walls. It also breaks down the walls for the peer mentors. Many of them have never spoken to a kid with special needs. Now they're in a rehearsal room with them. They're helping them out. They're having fun. Every rehearsal ends with social time, so I like to say we break Doritos together and have a fun time together. And so it's about social connection. And that is what the arts can do. The arts are the antidote to the illness of an increasingly antisocial society. After we learn the words mama and dada, usually the first word we learn after that is no, right? No, don't touch that. No, don't go near the stove. No, don't go near the stairs. In the theater, we say yes. We say yes to people all the time. And when you say yes to people, you watch the walls fall down. You watch those iron doors open in people's lives because we say yes. And when you say yes, you open up a person to endless possibilities, things that they never thought they could do. But in the Penguin Project, we say yes to kids who had a lot of no. And when you say yes to them, their world opens up again. Their world opens anew. And not only for the kids, but we see it happening to their families, to their parents who thought, I don't know whether my kid can do this. I'm worried that my kid is not going to have a good experience. This is going out on a limb for my child to do something out of the routine. And they come here and we say, yeah, you can do it. And suddenly their life changes. And we see that on an individual basis. We see them changing inside. We see them changing as their interaction with their parents. We see them change as their interaction with other kids.
That is a home run. The Outstanding Event Award for the Penguin Project, the Lincoln Community Playhouse, accepting the Outstanding Event Award, Maury Enders, Executive Director of the Lincoln Community Playhouse.
Mary and I had a dream, and Lucy Buntain Coal Mine joined in that dream to make it come true. And we started at Sheldon, and she had been supporting us in Sheldon. And at one point I realized, well, we really need our own facility. And I wrote her a letter and more or less outlined what you see around us right now. In fact, I even said a really good place for it would be 13th and R, where we ended up somehow, some miracle. And she wrote back and said, why not? And donated, at that time, $3.5 million that eventually was used to build this facility. She always promised me she would leave something for the Ross in her estate, but I never expected as much as it ended up being. To date now, it's $9.5 million, which means that the Ross will be able to stay vibrant, and the future is really insured for the Ross. You know, if it hadn't been for Mary making that initial gift, we wouldn't have survived. I'd be gone somewhere, probably to Santa Fe. We're extraordinarily fortunate because there isn't another university in the country that has a better facility than we have now, and there isn't another small community the size of Lincoln. Lincoln's sort of small compared to others, that has this kind of a facility. So that's really the connection, I think, that she made this gift. She could have given, you know, she was a philanthropist in New York City, but she just thought that the gift to Lincoln would make more of an impact with the people who live here, and it certainly has done that. We're just very fortunate to have all that. And as far as changing lives, I tell you, I can't count the number of times that I get a little choked up. People have told me that the Ross has changed their lives. I have a friend who is back in Lincoln after many, many years in San Francisco working as a professional cinematographer. Has worked on many films, award-winning films, and she decided to pursue that career because we were friends, but she came to Sheldon to watch movies all the time. There's a lot of people like that out there that if I could remember all their names, I would, but yeah.
This is the Benefactor of the Arts Award. It goes to Mary Riepma Ross. Accepting on Mary Riepma Roth's behalf is Danny Laidley, Executive Director of the Ross Theater.
Lucy, where are you?
Well, Morning Hope is a grief support network for children, teens, young adults, and their caregivers who've experienced the serious illness or death of anyone in their life. And we tend to work with kids between the ages of 5 through 18, and families can seek our services because they've experienced any type of a death in their life, whether that be a parent, a sibling, grandparent, an aunt, or a good friend.
We usually talk about what kind of week we've had, how things have gone today. Glad that they're Morning Hope, glad you came today. That's usually how we start. And then we usually talk about one of the needs. And let's just say one of the needs is remembering the person who died. So the more I do this, the more I try to define words, help the kids have a definition of what a memory is. We talked about honoring. I think Carly used, what does that really mean? I can say that all the time. We're going to honor them through our artwork, but what does that mean? What's that look like and sound like when you honor someone who has died?
Oftentimes, because the kids don't have those words, when they are sitting down and they're working on any type of an art project, whether it be sculpture or drawing or painting or whatever it might be, that when their hands are busy, they get distracted by that. And then when the facilitators are speaking with them and asking them questions about the person that had died, when they're asking questions about how they feel about it or what emotions they might be having, they're oftentimes more likely to speak to that because they're distracted by the process that's going on over here. And so it's a distractor in some ways as well, too.
And we try to put children together as close as we can to children of the same age, and sometimes it's 2 or 3 years difference, but then they've experienced maybe the same things. Their vocabulary is quite often understood by the rest of the group. So having children that are close in age and have experienced the death of someone, as we talk about our grief and what we're doing about it, it's as the other children understand and then can ask them questions about it.
Well, our goal at Morning Hope is to ensure that no child ever has to grieve alone. That's the most important thing for us. And I think that through the arts, through different creative mediums, whatever we can do, what we find is that kids come to us thinking that they're the only ones going through this. Death is a very isolating experience. It's very confusing, and that's true for us as adults. But imagine if you're a 6-year-old and your mommy has died, And so when they come to us, one of the first things they often say is, I don't know anybody else at school who's like me. I don't know anybody whose mom has died. And here they're surrounded by other kids their age who are going through that same experience, and they're able to interact with them, they're able to do projects with them, they're able to interact with our grief facilitators and our artists that come in and find ways to ensure that they don't feel alone in their grief.
The Lincoln Community Foundation Arts for Kids Award goes to Morning Hope. They are represented tonight by Carly Runestad, representing Morning Hope.
Yeah, so I'm a full-time artist and a full-time teacher. I grew up making art. My mom's an art teacher and my dad's a painter. So I grew up making art every day, going to museums and seeing art. Every vacation was a list of art museums we had to see. So, and now making art is the focus of my life. I go to residencies in the summer and I teach here at Wesleyan in the art department. I make art as much as I can and go to openings here in Lincoln and Chicago, and everywhere I go I'm always seeking out art. Yeah, my artwork is derived from experiences in real life, so experiences I've had working or teaching or observing things in the world. And this show I have coming up, one part of the gallery is a dialogue space, so I've invited different people to facilitate dialogues, to bring in community members to experience the show and experience a gallery space in a new way. I'm going to be leading some mindfulness sessions. We're going to have a slow art day, so it's an international event on April 11th where people spend 5 minutes with one artwork, and they do that 5 times, and then they come together and have lunch, and then they talk about the experience of spending that extended time with an artwork. So I'm really excited to see what happens with that and who comes, and if it brings in new people to Wesleyan's gallery, and even people who have never been to an art gallery before, maybe they would feel more welcome through this kind of experience. Art shows us a different way of looking at the world than we are used to. Hopefully it makes us see the common everyday things in a new way. In my current work about working, it's raising questions about how we live our lives, the 9-to-5 workday that a lot of us think we have to do. It kind of asks the question, do we have to work that way? And what are we doing when we are at work? So I hope that my work prompts some thinking and questions about everyday experiences.
Sarah Berkeley, Kimmel Foundation Award winner in the area of the visual arts. By the way, in addition to the Kimmel Foundation Emerging Artist Award, Sarah also receives a sponsored 2-week artist in residency program in Nebraska City at the Kimmel Harding Nelson Center for the Arts and a $1,000 stipend. Congratulations, Ms. Berkeley.
As an educator and as an artist, what I've always been drawn to is sort of this open door policy of connecting, for me, young people, the stage, the arts, and also working in a vibrant community such as Lincoln with other artists. And what I've always been astonished by is if you want to do it, it can be done. And there's a great connection of creative, vibrant people here in Lincoln who want to help and be a part of it. And at Lincoln High, that open door allows students who've never strutted the boards, never been on stage, to give them an opportunity. And once anyone is a witness to that, then it just opens up more opportunities, and you're just driven by the idea of what more can I do, what can I do next. for me especially, stories that don't necessarily make the mainstream, stories that time has somehow muted to the point where we just don't hear them anymore. That's what really gets me going in terms of wanting to make a connection with an artistic expression, theater, and letting those voices live again in different ways. When I was in this classroom and I first started talking about Emmett Till, I saw the light bulbs go. I saw questions happen. That project started because students were relentless with questions. They wanted to know more. I didn't have the answers, so I had to go seek the answers. And when I did, I found more extraordinary situations and moments. We translated those questions to the theater, and in the theater, the students were still students, still learning, but now engaged actively with these voices and these scenarios. And I saw students exercise multiple intelligences. The students who struggle with reading didn't need to struggle with reading. They lived the words, and they were able to connect and learn at a higher level because the medium changed. And being a teacher and seeing the value of that, there's so much more we can do. And that's really where it struck me, that there's more that the arts can provide, not only in expression and pursuing our artistic endeavors, but also in learning. Some of the more dramatic changes that I witnessed, and this is my classic story that I always tell, was I had a student. I'd go downstairs every day and I'd pass a student who was in the hallway, and he was always thrown out of his class because he talked too much. And every morning we'd pass each other and I'd say hello and he'd say hello. And then at one point I had to stop and say, "Why are you always being kicked out of class?" And he said, "I talk too much." I said, "Well, you need to do theater then." And at the time we had just started Emmett Till, and he joined us and lettered in theater and continued on, then lettered in swimming, and then lettered, but became enriched. And I know that was probably 9 years ago, but if I passed him on the street, we'd still have that moment, and we'd still have that learning, and we'd still have that experience. And to me, that's what it is. It's finding the value in everyone to produce and to create, but also to ultimately allow them to pursue and be curious and rise above any sort of, elements that devalue them.
Kimmel Foundation Award winner in the literary accordion situation, Chris Malley. Chris. Even as he accepts this Emerging Artist Award, Chris also receives a $1,000 stipend and a 2-week residency at the Kimmel Harding Nelson Center for the Arts in Nebraska City. Let me ask presenter Tom Houston to step forward so that we can do one of the concluding awards of the evening. Tom is an attorney with the Klein Williams law firm. He practices primarily in the real estate development area. Tom has served as an adjunct professor in the College of Community and Regional Planning within the Architecture College. He's taught a law land use course for 23 years. Tom is also a member of the Urban Design Committee, and he is here to present the award for the Anderson Urban Design Award. Tom Houston.
Thanks, David. Since 1984, the Urban Design Committee has honored Lincoln projects that significantly contribute to the quality of our city's urban fabric with the Anderson Urban Design Award. Named for Larry Anderson, the committee's founding chairman and pioneering landscape architect in our community, the award has been given to a wide range of project types over the years. Award winners include trails and parks, public art, streetscapes, and bridges. They also include buildings and large multifaceted public-private partnership projects like last year's winner, the Antelope Creek Village and Fallbrook projects, as well as very small projects like the alley leading into Barrymore's. This year, I'm pleased to announce this year's Anderson Urban Design Award is presented to Pinnacle Bank Arena and associated West Haymarket redevelopment, and I believe we have a video to watch.
What is it going to take to get Lincoln to the next level? Part of that obviously involved the West Haymarket renovation project, where it was formerly a bunch of railroad tracks, and that's a thriving industry and just a dynamic industry for Nebraska. So we have to we have to nurture that relationship. There are a lot of jobs and things, but we also wanted to create an inviting area where families and young people can come and enjoy the area. So fortunately, we were able to get both accomplished by moving the tracks further to the west, and yet in that area where the tracks were, we've built a very vibrant, inviting area for young people and families. The more opportunities you have to draw people together, different connections are going to happen, different relationships are going to happen. And so I think if you try to force the idea, it's not going to work. But if instead you can create an idea where people will come and gather and just communicate, I think those relationships will be enhanced. It's a destination now. And so I think as people come to a destination point and they gather there, there's going to be communication, there's going to be connection, there's going to be ideas shared. And from those ideas, I think people connect.
Accepting on behalf of the project team are representatives from PC Sports, which manage the project, Paula Ports, Caleb Swanson, and Adam Hobel-Heinrich. My script does not include Dan Marvin, but we should ask Dan to come forward also.
Well, it's a great question. I think that one of the reasons that people go into theater anyway is that they love story and they love sharing story. I think that theater people especially have an overactive share gene. You know, you read this play and you just have to share it with someone, or you fall in love with this part and you just have to share it yourself. You have to live it, really. And so what I do all day, every day, is help people be able to share better through the theater things that I do: directing, acting, selecting of plays, everything that we do. When we are in a room together, experiencing a particular play, we're together in a way that we're together in no other place, because the actors are on the stage live and we're there, you know, gasping together as the play is unfolding. And then there's the conversations before and after. There's one of the things I loved about the Rep was my chance to stand in the lobby before the shows and talk to everybody and find out how everybody was doing and what things were on their minds and all that sort of thing. And so it was the art that brought us all together and then stimulated thought, emotion, giggles, whatever it stimulated that particular day. I think all of the arts change lives. Performing arts certainly, but you know, I'm reading a book right now. I'm not working on a play right now, or I'm working on lots of plays in class, but I'm reading a book, and for some reason it changed my whole attitude. You know, when you come in contact with ideas and with other people living in circumstances that are different from yours, you're always taking that journey yourself. And so you're constantly being affected by the stories that you're interacting with. And so I think it's constantly changing lives. And I think all of the arts do. You know, you get a gorgeous pair of earrings and your week is lightened sometimes, or you go to a dance recital and all of a sudden you're thinking about a completely different idea than you were thinking about before. And I think that's the great thing about Lincoln, is that we're surrounded by so many things that stimulate our lives.
The Mayor's Choice Award. I got to do King Claudius to her, Queen Gertrude, in Bob Hall's Hamlet. She's my choice as well. Virginia Smith. For 47 years, the Lincoln Arts Council has helped our arts community grow. Thanks for helping us celebrate these 37 years of the Mayor's Arts Awards. Mayor Beitler, thank you for leading our city in a progressive way that highlights the arts, celebrates the arts, and builds community spirit. Congratulations to this year's Mayor's Arts Award recipients. A special thank you again to Premier Catering, to the Leeds Center, and their terrific staff. Good night, everyone. Thank you for championing the arts, connecting people, and changing lives. Till next year.
Thank you for tuning in to Masterpiece Lincoln's production of Champions. We hope to see you again next year for episode 2. Good night.